Good day, fitness professionals, and welcome to this month's edition of Movement of the Month. If you're new, welcome. I'm Coach Kennedy. If you're returning, thank you again for your loyalty as you continue to read these articles month to month. If you ever have any questions with respect to what we're doing today or anything from the past or any general health, wellness, and fitness questions, never hesitate to reach out. My email and contact information is in the article below this video. This month, I wanted to bring you guys something a little different, a little more out of the box, something that's going to contribute to everyone's health. So this is for every single living human on the earth. And basically, we're going to do proper diaphragmatic breathing. If you're not familiar with the term, diaphragmatic breathing is breathing from the diaphragm, not the chest. There's more about this in the article itself, but I wanted to let you understand the value of something like this. You have to remember that breathing itself is going to dictate your physical, your emotional, your systemic, and mental states. It's going to decide how long you live healthy. It's going to decide how well you recover, how well you perform, and how well you learn things. All these things are affected by your breathing. And if you're in a state of fight or flight, as I mentioned in the article, all of those things are highly compromised, as is your health, and increased chances of injury. So today it's going to be diaphragmatic breathing. With that said, let's get right to it. So this is done anywhere. As you can see, I'm in my home. I do all these videos here in my home. I want the privacy of it, and I want to let you know that if you are home, it can be done here. And in this particular case, you do want a quiet spot. Diaphragmatic breathing, of course, you can stand up and practice it, but I'm going to show you a different way because I want to be sure that we are engaging the right parts of our body. It's going to be in a supine position, so I will be facing the ceilings. My knees and my hips will be bent, which I'll show you in a moment. There are three things we are going to look for in this video. One, we're going to make sure that we're aware that we are breathing from our belly. You will feel the belly rise up and down. That's number one. Number two, we want to also make sure that our low back is also driving into the ground. So when there's diaphragmatic breathing, if it's done correctly, there's this expansion. So already you might be able to visualize that belly moving out and the low back also sort of pushing out. Lastly, the ribs. Down on the rib cage, down at the lower part, we do expect the ribs to expand. So we expect expansion of the ribs and expansion of the low back and the abdominal wall. That's 3D breathing. That's the best way to refer to it as. Some refer to it as just diaphragmatic breathing. The 3D term itself, I learned from someone I did a course with many years ago, Dr. Emily Splicko. We're the barefoot people. That's the term they use, so I want to give some credit to them for doing it this way. Most like to do it standing, most like to do it sitting. We like to practice on the ground in this position. This wasn't coined by anybody. I'm sure it's been done before, but we want to make sure that this is the procedure we take to teach your clients or yourself on how to properly breathe. Now, remember that if your posture is off, this is one of the things that affects it. Today is just the process of how to perform diaphragmatic breathing, but fitness professionals, you have to remember that you have to look at the posturology as well, but my biomechanical imbalances need to be fixed. Otherwise, if it puts us into a position where we are unable to use our diaphragm to breathe, there wouldn't be any purpose to learn this and not actually apply on a body that can actually handle it per se. All right, so what you simply do is we get our clients down in the supine position. I'm going to get my head up from time to time simply just to speak back to, I'm in a supine position. I've got my knees and my hips bent, as you can see here. I'll sit down, and the first thing you'll get your clients to do is to just put their hands on their bellies, and all we want to do here is visualize and breathe, eyes closed, and feel the belly rising. I'll just take 2 quick breaths just to show you how this looks. All right, so the way I began was my hands are on my belly. We breathe in through the nose. We can exhale through the nose or through the mouth, but proper breathing is always through the nose. Breathing through the mouth when you're supposed to be calm, can indicate fight or flight, or can indicate an emergency or a state of hyperventilation. That's not the state we want to be in. Please remember, as I stated in the article, if you just ran 100 meters or sprinted or did a quick circuit, yes, you will see chest breathing. Yes, you will see many different things happening. This is for you at home or before you start something, or want to down-regulate the system to calm down. This is when this is applied. And if you practice this, then the best part is the body continues to breathe this way, just like any movement pattern. So we want to practice it so that the brain remembers the movement pattern, and that's the way you continue to breathe. So step number 2 now. Same thing, on the ground, supine position. My hands are going to be on my ribs. I'm going to take 2 breaths just so I can feel them expand and come in, expand and come in. Step 2. So once again, in the supine, on my rib cage now. You can see where they're placed, just on the sides. All right, there you have it, step number 2. So as my hands were on my rib cage and I felt them expanding, I could also obviously feel my belly expand as well. So those are the 2 first things we're going to look for. Lastly, number 3, the low back. Same thing, I'm going to get down in the supine position. My hands are going to slip underneath my back. And now I'm going to visualize all 3 things happening at once. I have felt the belly, I have felt the rib cage. Now I'm going to feel the low back. So hands underneath that arc in the low back. And again, close the eyes. It makes you focus and visualize. Rib cage expands, belly rises, low back pushes into the ground. There you go. So what you'll feel, and this is great to practice, is I actually feel my hands being compressed. So it's not a hard compression, but I can feel my hands being compressed in my low back. I can feel my rib cage expanding and my belly rising. I'm breathing in through my nose and out through my mouth. Now, in the article I stated this is going to be a 5-1-5 routine. That's 5 seconds to take a deep breath in, pause for 1 second, exhale for 5 seconds. For some, this might be too challenging. As always, you can regress this. You can go down to a 3-1-3, a 2-1-2 if you need to. You can build up to a 7-1-7, and that will be 4 breaths in 1 minute. I think that covers it all. That's diaphragmatic breathing, showing you how the body moves in 3D. If you have any questions, comments, please don't hesitate to reach out anytime. I'm Coach Kennedy, and I look forward to coaching you again. Love and peace. Have an awesome day.